All right, looks like we're live now. My trading has really improved over even just the past few days because I've been getting some free mentorship from ChatGPT, and it's just like refining like all of my little errors and um, aiding the learning process. So what do we have? Is gold. I've entered two contracts because if I one second. There we go. Look at this screen, then we can see when price reached, price was like pulling back here, and then it got here, and then when it got here, it triggered another entry. And yeah, I'm just beginning to practice scaling in now, and yeah, I think that's really gonna greatly increase my profitability. Had a few hiccups today, but next week should be all hunky dory. Today's the last day of the trading week. That's a bit disappointing, to be honest. I've been working a really good journaling system, including screenshots and stuff now. And I mean, on the main chart, MNQ is keeping its structure. It's got a lower high here, and a lower low here. So we are in a so I'm shorting. I've got my stop loss just above that high because if it breaks that, well, that's considered a change of market structure. We're no longer in a downtrend, but in a either a broadening range, or if it makes a little stop here and creates another low here. But we've had a bit of trouble before because this point here, and it's very similar on gold actually. Like a lot of the uh, same points of resistance and everything happening on gold and MNQ. But anyway, yeah, I caught some of these moves off, both gold and MNQ, and then when they reached a particular pivot point, things started getting a bit confusing. So gold, gold, it's like you can barely see that there's actually a little bit of a pivot there. It's so small that it affected all this. And yeah, here on gold, we've also got uh, lower high. You could consider that lower low to that. I mean, it's a lot more clear that this is lower low. So by definition, these are downtrends. Very small though. If we look at the greater market context, market structure context, it's also overall bearish. So there's that advantage to it as well. What's choppy on MNQ? Let's have a look. Yeah, yeah, MNQ, yeah, very, very choppy here. Still, still predominantly bearish. But is it this one? Let me see. Still on the main chart, aren't I? Yeah, awesome. So, no, it wasn't here. I think it was gold. So this pivot point here, Daisy. Yeah, that lines up with here. So when I woke up this morning and got to the charts, this was just happening, and I caught some of these moves up here. Um, And then only recently did I open up RSI. I usually stay away from indicators, but then I thought actually RSI might give me better indication when we're reaching support, if it's more likely for a reversal to happen at that support, which I can see that this was congruent with that. So this main chart is the 15-minute, and my other charts, the 5-minute here and the 1-minute here. So I use the 15 as the overall market structure, determine the trend by where the pivot highs and lows are. Then I zoom into the 5-minute and the 1-minute to time better entries on pullback continuations. And yeah, just a lot of waiting, a lot of waiting. So keep it on this screen, and I'll just watch the 15-minute on my other screen as needed. In fact, what I can do is even move control center screen, show the positions. Just turn that on. 1 second. Window capture. Oh wait, it's already there. So I don't even have to turn it on. It's just already on the screen. So there we are. And that shows the P&L of the trades at the moment. And occasionally I might flick through to see what realized P&L is and stuff. Totally unrealized P&L, if I were to close now, would be around about break even. My realized P&L was actually like 315 at one point. Then I just had one loss that had a couple of contracts that wiped me out. So I'm still learning to scale in accordingly. I've set up some rules on when and how to scale in, and I just need to practice that a bit more accurately and stuff. Market's moving quite slow at the moment. I mean, I guess we can see here it's just sideways range on the 1-minute, sideways range on the 5-minute. ChatGPT tells me that this kind of thing is a pullback, where it's all just overlapping and pretty even, that it's, yeah, more likely to continue the trend. This candle is a bit antsy, it's a bit impatient. It's kind of reflected here as well. I'm starting to learn to not let individual candles, really affect my decisions that much. Especially, say for example, this candle here. In the past I would have been like, shit, it's going up, like time to buy, it's just going to keep on going up. But oftentimes it's just an impulse that results in a reaction. So you got to look at the greater market structure, see the pivot highs and lows and how they shape up. And I've got my stop loss, can't remember if I mentioned, just above here, because that's where market structure would be broken. That is where it would no longer be in a downtrend, because we would have a higher high there. Then I have to consider consider what to do after that. See if a trend breaks out and follow that. I think I've got to change the name of this video. This isn't monk mode. This is yeah, kind of boring. London session begins in 3 hours. So hopefully see more direction when that happens. Hopefully I can practice my scaling in and stuff. Yesterday I finished the day with a profit of like 500 and something over like 20 something trades, but ChatGPT is telling me that it's a lot more normal for an experienced trader to, just make like under 10 trades in a day and get a few $100 from that. So I think that sticking with my trades and scaling in is going to, that's what's going to make the process. The message on Discord. MNQ is starting to. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. MNQ is. Someone's calling me. Yellow, you need to be picked up now? Okay, yep, see you in a sec. Alright, I'm gonna leave the screen and pick up a friend who's nearby. Hopefully these trades don't fail on me. See how it goes. I've already got freaking 2 contracts on one of them. Alright, see you soon. Right, I'm back. Yeah, I just had I've got a mate. He lives down the road, but he's not very capable of walking, so just had to drive him here and there. Um, so where are we? We're looking at gold, which still hasn't broken its structure. If I switch to main chart here, it's still lower high and lower low, and it's kind of playing around. It's right where EMA is, so it's at its total average at the moment, which means the market is very consolidated on an average level. Um, so hopefully expect some bigger moves once it moves either through or down the other way of the average. MNQ, what's happening here? So once again, still structure is maintained. We've still got high, high, lower, low. But this current candle, which ends in just under 3 minutes, has been a bit bullish. Despite peaking above here on the EMA, it's continued down. But considering it's, doing some kind of mean reversion here, that we've been under the average here, then maybe it does want to go back up, which I'm not too happy about. But if it does, it pretty much has like quite a fair distance to go up, so there would be some opportunities there. Another 2.5 hours until London opens. Gold seems to be profiting again. So what does that look like on the lower time frames? Now, just a reminder, we've got 2 contracts on gold. So I do want it to actually go down, because the stop loss is quite hefty. It's at $243. I don't want that to happen. If I can add another contract, in fact, not even. Sooner than later, I'd probably move this stop loss just here. On the 15-minute chart, it makes a bit more sense, because once again, that would imply a break of structure. And that's also present on the 15-minute chart to some degree, where not entirely, because it would only be 1 candle's worth. So, yeah, not even. That would be like within the candle, I think. No, that would be just the candle top, actually. So on the 15-minute, let's go back to the smaller ones. Oh, there we go. If I were to place the stop loss here, or on the 1 minute here, then on the 15-minute it would look like it was here. And if this 1 candle goes above that, that's not a break of structure. That's to break the high, it would have to break this one, so it would have to remain there. So if I'm then again, I think this is the gist of what ChatGPT was trying to get at, actually, is that, my entries are on the lower time frames. So I should move my stops accordingly to those. So higher time frame is, yeah, for the actual context, but the main chart is actually supposed to be the 5 minutes. So yeah, I would probably move it up to here. I'm considering whether to do that now because the stop loss is very expensive right now. But thing is that you can see where I entered here, as I would have entered about here, thinking that's the end of this pullback or something. I don't even know why I got in there. But really, it's like, well, this is actually the pullback. I should have waited for this whole thing to retrace. This candle's looking kind of hyperactive here. Now, if I moved it there, I'd get stopped out. So decisions. You know, what do I really want to do here? I think I'll keep it here for the time being, because if this is a pullback, then we don't know when to say that the pullback is actually reaching its pivot high. We don't know where the depth of this pullback. What's MNQ look like? Everything's starting to look kind of bullish, and I don't know, there's a part of me that wants to go long, but the trend doesn't say that, and I do have to stick with the trend. As painful as it is. Thing is, this has all happened near resistance. You know, all of this, it's like, you know, leading up to, or maybe not there, but leading up to, on the right chart? Yeah. Leading up to resistance here it was quite strong. So I made this mistake before though. I forget it was gold or MNQ. Like I tried to go long here, and I think the best course of action is to wait for a better response. Hopefully, a breakthrough of resistance. If a breakthrough happens, then you know I'm going to take some losses along the way, but there should be a lot more room to move. Unfortunately, it looks like there's a bit of a zone here, and resistance is here. So even a breakthrough there's still not much room. Then the main area of resistance after that is here. So I would love if it kept on going up there. If it reverses, well then it's got this place to go to. It's also a bit further down, like down here. I just got to play with the cards we're dealt. Kind of bummed that today, let's look at my P&L. You know, my realized P&L was minus 68.85. My total is negative 100. But given my trading behavior, I've done a lot worse, and I've like traded on tilt and stuff, and just everything shows that my behavior is so much better yesterday and today. Um, Otherwise I would have just exited right now and tried another trade and just kept on doing that ad infinitum. Um, so doing a little bit better now. Let's see what gold looks like again. Um, so I'm kind of liking this candle now as it's forming this upper wick, showing me that like, yeah, there is some more selling pressure, that indeed this high is still a lower high. So hopefully we do see some more movement to the downside. What's it look like on the lower time frames? Yeah, 5 minute, 5 minute the trend is a bit more noticeable. We've got lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. And what about MNQ? Yeah, MNQ, main charts, lower high, lower low. We're getting an upper wick on this one as well. It's also just above EMA. These charts are so similar right now. Let's look at the lower time frames. So 5 minute, we see lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. If we look back at the main chart, we see the price just like very close to the EMA. It's been at the EMA, so that's on MNQ, and the same thing, even more so with gold, I think. So something's got to happen here because buyers and sellers are just like really at tug of war right now. They are really the way I like to think about it is I think I mentioned this in the previous one, probably my monk mode thing, is that I once heard from a lawyer the definition of compromise is when two parties agree to be unhappy. And here we've got two parties, the buyers and the sellers, and they're agreeing that price sits around here, the average. And obviously neither party wants that. The buyers want the price to go higher, the sellers want the price to go, wait, hang on, other way around. Yeah, the buyers want the price to go lower, and now I'm confused. Buyers want it to go higher so they can sell it higher. The sellers, uh, confused. Buyers want it to go lower so they can buy cheap. Sellers want it to go higher so they can sell it at a premium. So at the moment, neither is happening. Uh, they're both agreeing that the price is there. Buyers don't get it to go cheaper, and the sellers don't get it at a premium. So we can see in the past few candles, and just how it's really close to the EMA, that the price is just average. It's another thing when let's try look for an example. It's like, okay, here's prices kind of in a range here. If you look at the open of this candle, the close of this candle, open of this one, the open and close of this one, and the close of this one, they're all like pretty much in a straight line. But they were below the average and moving below the average, and continue to go down. Where here, they're all bunched up here and they're all sitting about the average. So price is just like totally totally stressed out right now. And it's just resting, and then it's going to make a big move later, is what I would presume. I'm kind of bored at the moment. Here's the thing I just noticed is like, what if, what if this is an uptrend that looks like this? Up, down, up. In that case, my efforts are a little bit in vain. Um, but it could be a good thing because if the trend is that big, well, then the upswing will be a bit big like that too. Whereas I've kind of been examining like these micro trends. So if this does fail, I do kind of hope it does go up. I hope maybe there is a case where I can move my stop loss up, that even though it's two contracts, um, mitigate my losses a bit instead of losing the whole 243. So let's look at the time frames. Consider, should I stop it there? To be honest, I think I should, and I think I will. Just might as well, you know. And that reduces the loss to 109. Still not great. Now on the 1 minute, 1 minute, that is a bit of change of structure. Maybe that's what I got to pay attention to in these very consolidated markets is, well, there's not really any immediate structure on uh, the higher time frames. What does the lower say? And the lower, you know, it's probably a bit too much to look at all the freaking pivot points and swings here. But see it generally, you know, what's just like this general microscopic view, larger uh, picture. Here, looks like the downtrend might be resuming, and we have a look at that. And oh, we're reaching almost $100 on the P&L here. Now with this one, once it reaches 123 and also pulls back and confirms, then I actually want to add another contract. That's only once again, I am concerned that this is not a downtrend, that this is actually a pullback of this uptrend. Because although it could be seen that this is the pullback of this downtrend, it's actually very healthy. It is like, well, there's like this huge pin bar here, and price is so clean there, and the angle of this is more slow and choppy than that bearishness. Okay, we've reached 122, 123 now. So I'm going to go back to the other chart. And I'm going to consider another entry, which another contract, which I'll enter on my other screen. But I would prefer to see a bit of a pullback first. So I'd prefer to see price, yeah, pulling back a little bit. And then once it goes up and then reaches past 123 again, that's what I'd like. What's my realized P&L at the moment? It's 68. So even if I only win 245, that's a decent recovery. And I do have to be mindful that, uh, you know, I probably can't expect price to go all the way down here, given how slow this movement is. I might actually expect price to start going that way. Okay, I'm going to, there we go, sell another contract. Move my, that's weird. My stop loss didn't really, I swear my stop loss is the same. Anyway, thought it just kept the same value. But it looks like I'm gonna get 288 from this, possibly. You know, I didn't even wait for the pullback. You know, maybe you could count on the right screen. Oh, not even on the right screen. Maybe count like that wick, or that wick is the pullback. Now, on the larger chart, what I'm going to pay attention to is, yeah, the most recent pivot high and low. Because once I see another pivot high and low, well, then I'm going to have a bit more confidence that this trend is continuing upwards, and I want to ride that and see how far it goes. All right, what's happening here? Here's the proper pullback, or so it seems. Oh, that's why my stop loss got smaller, is because I moved it up. I forgot about that. I moved it up before I entered the contract. And yeah, like just so happened to be almost at the same place. MNQ is profiting now, but it's probably just sitting around doing the same old thing. Yeah, look at that. But, you know, these two charts have been moving pretty similar, so maybe it's going to see a bit of a down move as well. I think I'll roll the dart. Just gonna check the stream is actually still happening. Okay, cool. I'm glad that I spotted that out on the 15-minute chart, that what seems to be a downtrend at the moment actually could be just a long pullback of a more major trend. And the prospect of that going up does seem hopeful. I'm just going to anticipate it and not try to enter it early, but wait for all the confirmation signs. And although I usually don't like indicators, I'm glad I put the EMA on now because, you know, seeing how price is just like really sitting at the average now, both gold and MNQ, gives me a bit of insight into just how much compromise the market is in right now. That not only is price, you know, sitting at the same actual level, but it's actually like at an average as well. So, yeah, both parties, the buyers and sellers, they must be uh, very restless about the current situation. And if I were to hypothesize, I would say sellers might be even more upset because price is just below average. So they might be like, oi, like, can't you at least bring it to average? Like, why are you getting all of your share right now? And buyers might agree. You know, they might go, oh, well, you know, that's cheap enough. It's below the average. But who knows if they want it even cheaper. And it's only going to get cheaper if sellers sell some more. That's the difficulty, is they have to try and get the other party to do them what they want. If sellers want the price higher, well then buyers have to buy more. But buyers only want to buy when the price is cheaper, which is only going to happen if sellers are selling. So it's kind of a matter of like, who's going to give up? Now let's see if I can deduct this. You know, who is more likely to give up? This is really important. This is where I start understanding market psychology. Now we're reaching the 144 mark of P&L on this, which means that I could possibly add another contract. And it is looking pretty healthy. Wait for it to break that low, perhaps. But it's still a bit risky. I might place a stop order there. So like, yeah, if it does break, then that's what's going on. But each time I do that, it means that I am expecting more movement. But then again, I actually don't expect much movement, so I probably shouldn't do that. I should probably just take the 288 if it hits my take profit. I'm very eager to add contracts, but I do have to be careful, not just to think, okay, it reached the halfway mark and it did a pullback and recovery, because even here it did a pullback, it is recovering, but still hasn't broken that low. On the right chart, yes. And yeah, there just really isn't that much. There is bearish potential, but it just on the major chart it seems like this is more like a pullback rather than a significant downtrend. And looking back at the major chart, going back to these theories, who's in control, buyers or sellers, um, you know, it's like sellers had their fair share. Sellers really did bring the price down. So buyers got what they wanted. It got oversold. Buyers got what they wanted. And now those buyers would want to become sellers. So, well, they would be sellers. They've already bought. Seems that they're selling off here, but you know, wouldn't they prefer, you know, buying in here to sell up here? So they're only going to be able to sell up here if more people buy, but it was oversold, price is still low, so there's good reason to buy. There's very good reason to buy, and here it could just be that, you know, here's some selling happening so people can buy. That's my analysis anyway. Things aren't looking too great on this chart. Or at least that's just like my knee-jerk reaction. Whenever I see this kind of price action, it always makes me anxious. And yeah, even here it's like still it's a bit choppy. I'm almost considering like buying in really early, like because I think because I think that people are going to keep on buying, drive the price up higher, so then they can sell higher. Then I'm thinking like, well, do I want this entire thing to retrace, or do I want to get in? You know, maybe just when like that high is broken. And yeah, freaking now we're in the hundreds. We're 100 something before on gold, and now it's only $15, $27, $30. Stop loss is at 243, so I think it's more appropriate that I actually put the take profit out there as well. There we are, 233, 243. Um, and that's a bit more suited to getting to that level. What's MNQ doing? MNQ, just looking at the big chart and the small charts. This is very hesitant. It's just like, is
lower high, lower low. So that's consolidation range, small downtrend, lower high, a lower low, higher high. So broadening and consolidating again. So that shows a lot of tug of war between buyers and sellers. I look at the main chart. Now get rid of all these. Get rid of all these support and resistance lines I've drawn. And yeah, once again, similarities between the charts. That point where people started buying, it's not exactly a pivot point there. But sellers have driven the price down a lot. This is not as clear of an uptrend and that being a pullback, because that's very sharp. It's very sharp. But that is a lot longer than that is tall, or maybe it's about the same. But it's very slow. If that's a downtrend, that is very slow. Gold's starting to find its way back into the positive again. It's at 60 now. Just want to make that bank. You can see on my other screen that MNQ is just touching profit again, but then again, that's just like floating around the same area. This is just chop, you know. This is barely a downtrend pullback, down swing pullback. It's like, yeah, this is no good. And the 15 is showing a bit more bullish potential here. I am really considering, I'm really considering catching a bull move early, because I do think it's going to go up. That is my conviction. It goes against the strategy that I've set for myself, but it seems logically plausible to me. And, you know, I could be developing some kind of price action intuition here. Um, if I look, yeah, look on the major chart here, it's like if I look at the bottom of this actually coincides with reaching the average here. So that's a past average. To me, that's something significant, and it's it's a point of resistance here. So I do think there is potential. I'm almost considering exiting to mitigate losses. You know, I thought there was going to be a downtrend because it seemed that here was a point of resistance and it went up, and I thought it was going to reverse. But it's not always straight up and down like that, and it looks like it might have reversed maybe to that level. Some deep psychology happening here. But that is a pretty weak level. Like, look how freaking tiny that pivot is. So maybe that was just a time when buyers said, okay, we agreed that there's some selling gonna happen here, so we'll do it there again. I just don't want to lose that entire 243. Is it even likely at this moment that I'm gonna get that 243? I think that's what's important. Maybe. If I look here, is it more likely to go down or up? And to be frank, I think it's more likely to go up. You know, that is just a lot sharper. And again, that was pretty sharp, followed by that was even sharper. And ChatGPT, I think, said, you know, the trade is invalid when market structure is broken. So what could happen is if another pivot point is made, stop this up down to that. Tough. Very compromised market right now. 2 hours until London, and the main chart is showing me something interesting, is that buyers are pushing the price up to the average. They did the same thing here. Looking at the lower time frames again, what can we gather from this in terms of hints and stuff? Still see 5 minute lower high, lower low. This high could be taken out. That level is, that's where my stop loss is. So that is seen on the 15-minute chart. You can see that pivot point. So that would be the break of structure. And looking at else, does this look, this looks more upward than this stuff. Zoomed in, you've got this. I'm going to set this on to this. Come on. This sucks. Because this is 3 contracts. And this only reduces my loss down to 162. Think of this as downswing pullback, downswing, pullback. It's like it's a pretty weak downswing. Just in disbelief at how just a little bit of price movement right now is causing such a big effect. It does show that I was a bit hasty with entering some more contracts. Didn't wait for the strength to actually be really strong. Like, looking back at the main chart is like, well, this is more like a bear channel, really. It's, you know, still ranging up and down in a way that is not too clean. Where does that stop sit on our time frames? So it's above the average. See this kind of this level of these three candles. It's just like just above the wick of that green candle. It's the mix of these two. It's quite tight, but I really just don't really not starting to see price go down much. I suspect that when London opens, it's probably going to be more buying. Because there's been a bit of a sell off. Sydney session ends in like 50 in yeah 50 minutes. Tokyo would end in another 2 hours, 50 minutes in London. So it's kind of like, you know, this was actually the beginning. This this is about the beginning of Sydney session. This is the end of New York, the beginning of Sydney. So it's kind of like they've carried all this way. Sydney's gone like this, and then uh, yeah, London might be wanting to buy at this discount. It looks like Sydney and Asia, Sydney and Tokyo, they're kind of accommodating for that. It's my theory. I want to move my stop even closer here because it looks like this level, where I've pretty much placed it there, is still pretty much respected here. It hasn't gone above that. I think if I move my stop just to mitigate losses if it does happen, I just think at the moment it's like, do you want to go up or do you want to go down? Stop that. There we go. That's kind of all I really just want right now is, are you going up or going down? And like I said,
you know, I'm probably going to make a note of this actually. When price when price is incredibly compromised, judging trends on these smaller time frames. I may not be entirely correct here, but it's worth considering to observe potential outcomes in such circumstances. And we're getting back to the 90s level here. In fact, new 15-minute candle just opened. That looks like this. Still not convinced though. Still really not convinced. At least hope it hits my take profit. And if it does, you know, I just want to see some clearer signs of strong bullish or bearish price action. You know, if the bearish price action is strong on the 15-minute, then I feel that I don't really have to worry about the potential of an uptrend resuming. Though I do think the uptrend resuming is more realistic, which is just my analysis. Like I'm very, you know, I'm still very new at this. That's just what I think, based on my limited knowledge and experience. Now, what I just thought is don't just rely on the 1 minute for those signals of how to follow a trend in a compromised market. Should still be looking at the 5 minute, and the 1 minute is only for entries. Because if I look at the 1 minute here, it's like, what the hell is this? It's like we got lower high and low, lower high, higher high, higher high, lower low to that. It's like, it's all over the shop. But the 5 minute shows a lot clearer that there is a downtrend. Here's that bloody reversing again. Hurry up and hit the take profit, come on. What's MNQ doing? It's like floating around profit and loss. So here, look at that, still doing its same old business here. Look at the 5 minute chart, it is just incredibly choppy. Gold's back over 100. And yeah, like 3 contracts. Ideally, I should be making over $300 on this trade, but it was not executed that wisely. I was hasty in how I was entering positions, but I'm learning from that. So while I'm The take profit is at 243. So while I am, what is that, $57 short of the minimum of what that take profit should be. You know, ideally, not only would it have $100 worth for each contract, but it should actually be extended as well. Alright, we're almost getting there. It's almost hitting 200. And this is what the 15-minute chart looks like. So significant bearish candle, 8 minutes left on this candle. But I either want to see decisive bearishness, which then again could actually be, could trigger a reaction of bullishness. To be fair enough, it's like, well, this bear channel, or even downtrend if you will, still quite steady. Ooh, we're almost hitting it. There we go. Target filled. Okay. What's my P&L now? We're at 169. Now, I actually don't think I want to sell. I actually don't want to go short. How long have I been trading for today? I started at like 9. So 9. 8 hours. Sheesh. Sheesh. And what's my, so P&L. So 169 divided by 8. So still roughly an hourly wage of $21. Still working on it. Now, just looking for an opportunity to actually buy. I really, really want to go long. I think best way to do this is probably just place a stop order when the market structure is broken up here. And look at MNQ, still hovering about the same place, only $5 profit. And let's look at the major chart. Oh, we're already looking at the major chart. It's an hour and a half until London. Yeah, gold was a lot easier to read gold today, honestly. Like all of this stuff, it's just haywire. Oh, starting to see some increase in price here now. Above $20 P&L. And we haven't reached that low in a while. The last time we're at that low was here. It's about an hour ago. And I think I should probably move these closer. That's $45 risk.
63 profit, 53. Leave it at 53. It looks like it's going to hit it now. There. Okay, what's my P&L now? So we got 221 is my calculator. 21 divided by 8 hours, so hourly wage of 27 bucks, which is not too bad when you convert it to Australian. It's 27 in well, let's put the whole amount in first. We get our 221. Convert that to Australian. It's 313. 313 divided by 8. So hourly wage of 39 bucks, which is more than I have been paid in any of my actual jobs, because I'm just a freaking loser. I better close this order now. And now we're waiting for better entries. And, we're seeing on gold here. Yes, we are seeing on the 15-minute and here we are seeing a downtrend, but I expect. Oh, I better move that as well. Oh, whoops! No, that's the limit order that I put for when the market structure is broken. Now, what do I think the market is doing now? Is I think that this candle is showing increased selling, preparing the London session. I think there's going to be more buyers, but there could be some more selling potential. Like I actually might be able to go short again. Which is looking quite significant. So that's quite impulsive. Now I've learned not just to sell on the impulse, because it will likely react, it will likely pull back, and might hit my stop. So I'm better waiting for that to pull back. It's probably more likely to pull back and go down rather than do an actual reversal. According to the knowledge that I've got. So I'm going to watch, wait for a pullback and retracement, and go in with one contract. What is MNQ doing? Same thing. Might even be quicker to make an entry on MNQ. I have to hover between the two. I'll draw a retracement box just to like remember what's happening. And I think I'm going to do the same thing on bow. I'm going to put the other one back because I didn't have the screen. Anyway, I drew the retracement box. And what I am going to do is on the 15-minute on both MNQ and gold is add a stop order for if market structure breaks. And judging by this, what I'm seeing now, not just that bull bar forming there, but here on the 1 minute. Looks like there is that potential. On the 5 minute, we've got this pin bar, this hammer, or whatever you want to call it, the very long lower wick. And even on the big chart, there's quite a lower wick there. And that lower wick coincides with this bit of range here. It is also pretty close to this doji here, which is even with the open of that and the close of that, the opens and closes of this one. See that touch there? So it looks like this is an area of interest. And look at the Q, make some similar observations. Smaller charts. Usually when I'm waiting for retracements, I usually had like here's the 50% mark, here's the 75, but now I usually wait for a full retracement and continuation, an actual break of that pivot point, just to be extra safe, because even when it breaks that, often get false signals. So like really early is like, well, I'm so much more likely to get false signals where if it breaks straight through at this current skill level and stuff, um, that that works better for me. Yeah, we'll see how things go as my skills and abilities improve. Look at gold again. So once again, we've got this pin bar. This candle ends in just under 2 minutes. I'm very tempted to like get in this early if it is turning into an uptrend. It's not too wise, you know, we are in the downtrend. I have to remember that. So what's this level? This level is 5132 on the main chart. Where would that be? 51. Okay, it's up here. So it's actually this point. This point on the main chart is here. So if it reached there, well then it's definitely broken the high. It's definitely a higher low compared to here, and then a higher high compared to there. So then that would definitely, this would definitely be considered an uptrend. But even still, it's like right now, that is the pullback of this downtrend, because that is a lower high here and a, well, it's not really much of a lower low. It's like that's like one swing. So that would only be, yeah, that would actually only be a downtrend if that goes below here. And it was already oversold here. So technically we are in a consolidation range. low hasn't been made. The low is still within range. Um, so what do I think is more likely to happen is that this becomes the new uptrend rather than this continuing as a downtrend. This just seems too slow. You know, this is a lot steeper um, than this, and this is a lot steeper than that as well. So given that this is really not steep at all, makes me, like, especially in compare to this swing, makes me think that's not as much of a continuation of that. You know, if it's downswing, pullback, this downswing to continue it is it's not really much of a retracement. It doesn't seem like it's retracing that as a pullback. Um, this looks more like it's a pullback of this upswing. See what MNQ is doing. Oh, it looks like it's still moving down. Oh, I missed it. I missed that. And what should I do? I think I'm gonna sell anyway. What the? Oh, maybe I have to leave. There we go. Have to close that order. Usually, I wait for confirmation. It's very late. You know, I should be entering about here. So I actually entered a bit late, which is risky. I don't want to be shorting right now. I'm only shorting because we are in a downtrend. It's previous bearishness. Candles are somewhat strong here. We're almost at this point, which could be support, most likely. And I think might try to mitigate some losses by moving this to that pivot point, which on this would be that candle. So it's actually not ideal. It's really not ideal. This would result in an $86 loss. But it still looks like, even on the 1 minute, looks like lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. In the 5 minute, you know, if you're going to count candles as lower highs and lower lows, well then that swing is a 5 candle long trend, even here. So for that candle high to be broken by this candle would be a break of that downswing, if you were to consider the highs and lows of candles to be like micro pivots. Now, here's an interesting thing, is the low of this candle is actually pretty much at that wick and that wick. So once again, it's like we saw rejection at those levels. What about this end of the chart if I go all the way here? Yeah, this wick here. So like I said, is I actually don't like going short right now. I'm looking for better conditions. I'm just going short because this is a downtrend. There's bearish history, but everything else is telling you we're about to go up. That's at least my interpretation. What's gold look like? I'm going to close this this stop order actually, just in case there's shorting opportunities. I don't want to be shorting. Another hour 20 minutes to London. I think when London opens, even if it's like an hour into London, we'll start seeing more directional bias. I'll get rid of the tab on this chart. Oh, there we go. Show tabs. Done. Now I've got to save my workspace. Done. That should save my indicator setup as well. Okay, MNQ. Still showing that a bit high. The lower high in this downtrend is respected, and this could be retracing that pullback. But this is quite a wide take profit. Like, it's past support. On the major chart. Yeah, it's well past support. A bit unrealistic. I probably should move that up a bit. Come on, what's your problem? There we go. Now, that is not a good risk-reward ratio. That is 42 profit to 86 loss. Unlike here, where the candle is actually solid. So to make this fair, I'm gonna have to move the stop up too. That's still way too far. This is unrealistic. This is not a good trade. And I'm considering just exiting. At least should just try and make that even. So we've got 53 and 22. 57, 50, 52. 53, 53. So yeah, not a good trade. There we are. Doesn't even want to break that low very much. Oh, here we go. This is freaking scalping at the moment, and it's just because the higher time frames, it's just so it's just really not that good. Really not that up. And looking, like I said before, is like how prices would be really rapidly advancing to support area. This rapid movement would just be a sell-off. It's going to have a reaction, a bullish reaction. Because it's quite strong, it could break through. I'm always having trouble with support and resistance. It's like even when it breaks through, it just wants to chop around a bit and so seeing some positive P&L here in like 20s. Gold has a new, hasn't even been alive for 2 minutes almost. These entire 2 minutes, it looks like there's a doji with the this red candle, which once again is in line with all of this stuff here, here, and here. So that seems like a very notable zone. And I think, what if I'm to enter potential uptrend early is placing early at the break of this structure rather than on the 15-minute pivot. So on the 5-minute chart, that would look like about here or so. Possibly even here, which is 51.15. The major chart that looks like, oh, it is that pivot actually, which is where I place it before, I think. If it was at this level, instead, 51.11, the primary chart, 51, it's the top of this candle, which would then be above average. And we do see the sellers in control. And you know what? I might even take a position. I don't want to though. Because this is just. Oh, looks like I made a profit. What's my P&L? 272. 8.5. 32 American dollars an hour. Let's convert that Australian to 272. No, I don't want to send money. I want to convert the stupid website. 386. So 386 divided by 8.5. Yeah, $45 an hour. Well, we got a real job. Ha ha ha. So let's look at what is happening here. If I look, we've broken that low. That still doesn't really mean much. And yeah, it was quite a sell-off. So there might be a reaction. Maybe they just wanted to sell. Maybe it just triggered more selling. They're like, okay, we're going down. This has historically been a place where people start buying, so my best friend's messaging me that I can't really be stuffed. message him anyway. Alright, just texting. Let's look back at gold. Okay, now I said I didn't really like that. Still kind of don't. I like really clean price action deals. I just like it like it's as clean as can be. Another about 70 minutes till London. I swear, I have so much reason to think that price is going to go back up. If my conviction is right, I am going to be freaking wrapped. If my conviction is wrong, and I'm finding all these short opportunities, I'm going to feel very uncomfortable shorting. Just like there's so much messy stuff happening during these shorts. We're still seeing those same levels. Price is still about here, all of that stuff. I missed out on some more shorting opportunities. MNQ. Some of my mates and stuff. It looks like it might break. Might break that zone of support. I'm gonna short anyway, actually, because it looks pretty strong. And on the 1 minute, that little pullback has recovered. Seeing this as a downtrend, so low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high. That would mean that the break of market structure on this time frame would be here. I don't like having really tight stops, but this is a pretty reliable downtrend. On the 5 minute, it's downtrend on the 15, on the 5, even more so, it's becoming even more steep. Then when we go on a candle by candle basis, that's kind of what we see this formation here. The stop on the 5 minute is just above that candle. Stop loss is at 53. See significant evidence that there's potential in this. How much potential? I don't know. And looking back at 15, this is the same problem I had before, is this stop loss is really freaking far away from any kind of structural structure. You know, there's not no. I mean, where is it? Okay, it's about here. Yeah, there's some stuff happening here, but it's really pivot points. It's just noise. Could mean anything. Gold's still going down, surprisingly. Choppy as hell. Sort of overlap. Especially with wicks. It looks like a freaking hairy caterpillar or something, you know? And, you know, if I were to do this here, if I were to previously go, okay, it's pulling back, it retraced, let's short at this retracement, that wouldn't have worked quite a while. It's so freaking choppy. So even here, I look at this pivot low, go, okay, it's pulling back. Even if I say, okay, I'm going to short at this retracement, it's so choppy that it could just do like what's just been happening there. So, really wise. Take those A+ trades, you know? What to say. I think he's profiting a bit. Candles are looking pretty strong. You know, on the 15, actually, this is really good for short. On the 15, these candles are really decisive, which we see reflected on the 5, reflected on the 1. I'll just drop my cigarette filter. Now, I kind of hope I can get the full $100 from this one. Price is moving a lot stronger than I anticipated. I was, expecting significant move up. Seeing some serious bearishness at the moment. Bearish candles on the 15. Area of support just like being sliced through. The hot knife on the bottom. Gold, gold, gold. Gold's still steadily going down. On the 15 at least, it's steady, and it looks like it's becoming more bearish, just like MNQ. The lower time frames, hairy caterpillars. And here's kind of what I said before: is if I shorted on this complete retracement, it's just messy. But I might give it a go anyway, just because of how bearish everything is looking right now. And I could just be joining in on the sell-off before, hopefully, a buy-off, if that's what you call it. A buying frenzy at London, which is in just about an hour. So I'm going to sell here anyway. And that goes just about to that swing high. Got some other swing highs too. This is a bit more like a channel. But I'm glad that I did a fair bit of stopping before entering these trades, waiting for more confirmation, rather than just going, oh, it's overall bearish, let's short. MNQ's doing all right. It's in the 40s. And on the 15, it's actually just getting into oversold. Here we are. Might have to check the RSI on gold as well. But yeah, we are getting into oversold. This area actually wasn't in oversold. This was. Actually, even back here. I pushed it to fair value and sold some more. So we are oversold now. We are past support. London's in an hour. I do see buying. Could be totally wrong, but all the things in my head that are adding up tell me there's going to be buying. Okay, now it looks like 15 on gold. I think a bit of a hammer there happening. It's looking a bit too clean of an upswing on the one, but it kind of did that here as well. But rather than these big impulse candles, these are a bit more steady, very steady and clean. MNQ is in the 60s now. I'm just going to check that. Is it worth adding another contract? Probably not. Keep it safe. But probably reached the 100 target. I seriously don't want to really add any more trades short. I really just want it to turn around. gold is suffering. It's in the negative 40s. It's looking way too clean. I'm considering should I move the stop to these highs? These highs, that's 5098 on the main chart. Oh, I made a profit. $100. So 5098. It's just the previous candle on the 15-minute. So looking at MNQ, yeah, looks like a profit was made. I swear we're just seeing lots of selling. We're in oversold. Gotta be very careful. What's my P&L? 369. Convert that to Australian. 69. 524. It'd be about 9 hours now. 524, 509. Yeah, making $58 an hour. Gold is recovering a bit. It's in the negative 20s now. But also considering that this could be a pullback in this new swing up. Who knows? Very unpredictable at the moment. For me, at least. It's just all this hairy caterpillar business makes things even more uncertain. Especially when you see something like this doesn't have that hair. Just got a little bit of stubble. And looking at the 5-minute, see that the highs mostly haven't been broken. This almost isn't even a pivot high, but this is where my $100 stop loss is. Any further, I don't really like doing that too much. Negative 50s, it's looking very steady. The 15 looks like out of all of the bullish bars in this channel here, this one is the most prominent. And I'm thinking of moving my stop above that candle to $72 loss. I think this could be the turning point of moving up. MNQ. It looks like a pretty healthy pause in a downtrend. Like it would continue more. And I'm going to sell anyway. Sell. It's all these other pauses. Sorry. These other pauses. So here's that very shallow pause. All these other pauses are really shallow. Just like gold, you know, this could be the turning point as well. I am taking a bit of risk here. it's all for the sake of learning experience at the moment. I'm just testing my intuition. Uh, Past day or two off camera, I've been doing a lot of taking screenshots and journaling. And if I were doing that right now instead of doing the camera, I would be a lot more vigilant with that kind of stuff. I wouldn't be taking as big risks. Um, it's kind of interesting. I mean, you can see that this candle here, this one did a similar thing to what that's doing now. Is like it actually did go up and then back down. So this could go back down. Even this one here early in this big sell-off still do not see why during London session why people would not just be buying in, because we haven't had that history for how long does that go? That goes price hasn't been this low since about the 10th of March ago. What does that look like on the daily? So let's see what 3 days ago actually looks like. Oh, that's choppy as hell. Yeah, the institution's actually going to care. 3 days? Oh, that doesn't add up. I don't understand what's happening there. Whatever. 15 minutes. Smaller time frames. Ah, ah, Hesitant. Once again, ChatGPT tells me that these very horizontal overlapping bars are usually still an indication of the trend continuing. But it is definitely a more resistant pullback than the others. The others are just like sharp, over and done with. This one's very hesitant. And on the 5 minute, it still looks. I mean, it's kind of doji-ish now, actually. I just had a new candle open. The 5 minute. Oh, and the 15 minute. Which is looking quite promising on the 15 minute. Even though it's still a young candle. We're just getting more and more into oversold. Gold seems to be recovering. We're at -6 now on gold. So at the moment, I'm really only comfortable doing $100 take profit. But if we start to see more selling, more buying, and I join in on the buying, well then I'm gonna possibly. I suspect that I'm going to be more comfortable scaling in. Gold is looking way better. Gold is it just was about 20. Yeah, it's in its 20s now. 45 minutes until London, and now it's just dip back up. MNQ's in its 20s now. What's this tomfoolery? Now they're both in their 20s. Gold just move into 30s. Be good if I got another $100 off each of these. Gold's in its 40s. And that was a decent sell-off there. Much cleaner. I'm glad that I actually didn't go through with that temptation of buying in early. So I would have got stopped out. And who knows what would have happened if I kept on trying. MNQ, let's move down a bit. Let's see. Yeah, MNQ's just shopping around a bit. Still bearish bias. The 15 shows that that candle, which is not even 4 minutes old, still sitting around the close of the previous lower wick. Now it's in the negative. The 2, the 5 and the 1 minute chart show that previous candle that was moving up. It's doji at the, there's there. This one is a large lower wick. See that happening on the 1 minute. And oh, gold's going up to, it's in its 80s now. There we go. We just made another 100. Let's have another look at gold. See if there's any more opportunity to short. Now let's judge my hourly wages. 467 in Australian, 664. Yeah, we're making like 73 bucks an hour. Just another day at work. There's a big impulse. On the main chart, we're not into oversold. We haven't reached that support. That's looking quite strong. So I am still considering more shorts. So we're very hesitant about it, but I'm just kind of just going with the rules, you know. Me expecting this, it's not like I think the chart is bullish by any means, but I think there's potential for bullishness, that some bullishness may really occur. It's going to be funny if I'm completely wrong and it just keeps on breaking through support. But at the moment, you know what, I'm just going to sell. Screw waiting for the pullback. There's not so much of a good idea on gold now that I have a look at it, because the history is, yeah, a bit over the place. was trading on an impulse. Should have waited for the pullback. Whoops-a-daisy. MNQ's back in the positive. That's okay. Looks like it's breaking. Could be breaking that low. It's definitely above opens and closes there. And oh, gold's gone into the positive too. Still quite a bit of distance to reach that $100 take profit. We've got 40 minutes left until London. 15 minutes looking pretty good for all of that. I kind of do wish that I was scaling in on these trades. But I just really don't have the confidence for that at the moment because I think of this bullish potential. I would rather scale in when I have more confidence. Yeah, both gold and MNQ looking good. Gold's in the 20s. Doing decent so far. I'm actually quite relieved because I've recovered my account from the losses that I made before. And I wasn't chasing that recovery either. I was being pretty cautious about it, just making sure I'm following the rules and stuff. P&L of both is in their 20s, as you can, as you can see here. Positions, there we are. Oh, now they're in their 20s, sorry. MNQ is looking like it's recovering from that pullback, perhaps. Oh dear, we spoke too soon. Yeah, now gold is in the negative, and so is MNQ, just hovering there. At the 5 minute, quite a bit of wicks here. Yeah, now I'm starting to suspect the turning point. I really don't want to be losing $200 on these two trades. I just like made $200, you know. And yeah, this is looking. If I have this opened, buyers are stepping in, is my opinion. Is that called reversal candle? Hold. Wick has gone down to this wick, which is also the level of that. It's on that reversal candle. I think this is the turning point. I am considering getting out. Gold's at negative 40. It is sharply going up on the 1 minute. Let me just show you. I think I want out. I don't see anywhere, any points to put my stop loss. Just leave it here, and then that's the whole 100 gone. If this candle closes, goes down, I'm gonna put my stop loss at the high of that candle. Might even just do that now. And that is a $66 loss. Looks like it's about to happen. Oh, okay, here comes the new candle. And MNQ is in negative 20s. And I might do something similar. This is going to mitigate losses. This is going to make it a $37 loss. So all up, that's just under $100 loss. So 37 plus 66. That's yeah, $103. Gold is in its 60s again. It is almost there.
Yeah.
All right, gold's lost. There's MNQ, and I'm really tempted to try and get in early now. It's risky. I'm just gonna cut off. Oh, cut off already. I think I'm gonna get in. Right. This is like so against the strategy that I've kind of built already. But YOLO. This could be incredibly freaking stupid. This is I mean, gold is profiting $3 now. What does this even mean? I guess I can just start off with some $100 ones. What's my P&L now? We got 358. And they're both in the green now. See if this holds up. We got under a minute left on the 15-minute candle. So all candles are going to reset. And that means there's half an hour left until London. Look at the main chart here. Look at this candle reversing. That is a lot of buying pressure on that candle. And I would assume that the next candle is going to follow through, possibly break the highs of those candles. I'll show you what my positions look like. There we go. 25.15, 20.54. It's like these are significantly going kind of up significantly. Go back to the lower time frame. So yeah, we haven't seen a candle like that, and you know, preceded by this pin bar there as well. Looking at MNQ. All right, here's that new candle. It was green a second ago. Oh, sorry. Here's the new candle. Gold's doing really good. It's in its 40s. MNQ. I think this is the turning point. Like, look at those. There's like 2 pin bars. If I call this as the freaking turning point, like, that's pretty freaking Chad. I'll be pretty freaking proud of myself if, like, it just, like, keeps on rallying up. I'm like, oh my gosh, I freaking timed that perfectly. If that's the case. Gold is in its 30s.
this is pretty freaking significant. Like, even if it isn't the like entire, like the real beginning point of like a rally up, it's still pretty significant that I called some longs in highly bearish environment. Gold's in its 40s. MNQ just doing a little bit of a dance. Right, so main chart on gold. Here's that new 15 candle. It's still inside the range of, it's in its 50s now. Just dipped back to 40s. Still within the range there. Back in its 50s. I think either this candle or the next is going to break that high, and you know, once it reaches the take profit, well, then it has broken that high. That take profit is above that high. Show you the smaller time frames. MNQ's back in its 20s. So here we're seeing very short-term rally. 5-minute bars are nice and steady. You know, this one was, I predict, a sell-off into the reversal. Gold in, oh, gold just hitting 70. I mean, you can also just plainly see that it's right up there. But I'm not going to add any more contracts to the trades. I'm not going to scale in unless I see on the main charts that there is a structural change. Because that is still a downtrend with lower highs than lower lows. I need to see like at least here being broken. But even still, that is still not technically an uptrend because the high would be lower than that. But I still think that it's a good indication that it could be forming a trend. Gold in its 70s. Take back here. Yep, looking good. 80s. I'm going to make back that loss that we made earlier. That high has been broken. This high. I want to see more highs getting broken. I'm amazed that I caught that. And look where my freaking entry was. It was freaking down here. Even freaking on the lower time frames, like my freaking entry. Oh no, it's here. Here, mid trend there. More impressive on the 15. There we are. Oh, my bad. It's it's here. It's at this freaking wick. Thought I think I mistook it for the stop loss, but yeah, entry's freaking here. MNQ back in the 20s. Gold in its 90s, just about to hit it. Show that lower time frame so you can see that goodness. Look at that. Just teasing. Now we want to see it break this high as well.
I still can't be too certain. And I think just because I got one bull move right then, and I've been saying all this stuff about, yeah, I think it's a reversal, I think it's going up, that does not give me enough confidence. I want to see more evidence of bullishness. Or I can just YOLO. Let's freaking YOLO. Yeah, just entered another one on gold. MNQ's 15 minutes looking. I mean, MNQ's in the 30s now. Sorry, here on the 15. That's looking pretty good. It's broken the previous high, which we haven't had in a while. We haven't had that since here during this consolidation area. We're in the 50s, 40s. Here's what the lowest hand frames look like. Once again, that's where I said, but I think there's the turning point. You know what? I might just try and tell myself that. It's like, Matt, remind yourself, you got those, you won those bull trades in a freaking bearish environment. You are seeing the signs reversal. Let's try and have some confidence in it. Gold's negative, and you know, I'm gonna say that that is because once again, there's this high to break, but also it's like we've got these shallow pullbacks on the 1 minute. I think this is going to be like the first test. The first test is like, does it break that high? So we definitely see some hesitation. What's my piano like now? 456, yeah, it was like that before. Because it made two losses that added up to about 100, and then gained 100 back. And very interesting what's happening with the price now. Seeing like this flickering, like doji there, these opens and closes all about the same. But now that's looking just about half a minute left on both this and the 5 minute. We see, yeah. It's all about this level. Even this doji with huge wicks. It's around about there. We just got like wicks going through there. And got 1 minute. That's looking. Ooh. That's why you gotta wait. The pullback retracement. Not just buying at the bloody peak like that, you know. It's one of my worst habits is, oh, look how clean it is. I think I'll just buy at the peak and let things dip. With the new candles, who knows what it's going to do. MNQ is still in its 20s. Gold in the negative 20s. So I'm hoping that that's just like a reaction to that zone. You know, that zone's not just present on the 1 minute. It's very much present on the 5 and the 15. Look at 15, it's like, yeah, there's all of this stuff happening in that zone. Now we're getting close to break even. We're under -10. MNQ just in the -10, in the positive 10s. 20. So yeah, that looks more like a reaction. Like there's some hesitation here, some reaction, and this looks steadier than this overreaction. So I've got more confidence in this trend resuming. New 1 minute candle. I'm waiting to see that high broken because that high is also present on the 15. So we'll know that structure is changing. We got 18 minutes left until London. I think we're in for a good start. I do think that I'm going to see a bull run. And hopefully I can add some more contracts if that happens. MNQ's dipping. What are you doing, MNQ? Oh, yeah, he's dipping a bit before you can see that wick is down there. So it's just interacting with these new levels that are here. Now we're going to have to break a high. 5 minute looks like here on the 15. What's that? That's 24476 on the 15. 44. Oh, it's actually that candle. So we actually, yeah, prefer to see a break above 24489. Lower time frame is 24489. That's 24. Why does it seem prominent on that? Did I look at that wrong? So this candle, yeah, 2448. And 24. Oh, okay, so it is about here. And right, what the 244? About here. That's interesting. Gold's back in the negative. What are you doing, gold? Trusted you. Still playing cat and mouse with that zone. And 15. We got, oh, 3 seconds left to the next 15 candle. This should prove to be very interesting. We have opens and closes in this line. Actually, here, even like look at the bodies of these two candles. Is like the open was here, closed here, then this one opened here and closed about there. That is, yeah, some significant ranging. Hope to get some new highs. Start adding contracts soon. Oh wow, I totally forgot about that. My cash value here 25992. So yesterday my realized P&L was like 500 or something, plus today's 456. This is just a simulation account, but I'm trying to simulate the evaluation process of achieving funding. So Once that reaches 26250, that's a pass, and then I have to simulate getting a payout, and then I'll be more confident to actually take the evaluation. Will look like it wants to try that again. It's not taking no for an answer. M&Q's still doing the same old thing. Look at that. That's not what we want. That's lame. That's freaking. That's downtrend talk. What are you doing? It's like you're downtrending, you goof. What else do we see at this level? If I just draw a horizontal line here, because we see the close, the open, and what that is happening. Zoom out. Okay, we see some highs, some opens and closes, and some wicks going all the way back to, I don't know, like 11th or 10th or something. Oh no, gold's negative 40s. What's happening? No, please don't do this. MQ's almost in the negative. Gold, oh, I'm gonna lose the freaking profits I made. You're doing so well. Body's still in range. This 15-minute candle's still in range. The question is, do I try to mitigate losses? I just saw some interesting. Just this candle here was like flickering. Still seeing this downtrending stuff. Should be waiting more for the uptrend, not just trying to catch the whole thing early. But I'm going to keep my stop losses where they are. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. I would like to just be able to freaking ride the thing up, you know? Don't want to be making these losses. Gold is getting dangerously close. It's in its freaking 70s. Do see a bit of a zone here. So 50882. That's around about here. What's that look like on the 15? Is there anything significant? 5088. There's just that candle. Could say that is the break of structure. Is that is low. If it goes down there, then candle to candle, that is a lower high and lower low. I want to make it even tighter. That would be an $87 loss. Here, that's a $85 loss. MNQ is hovering between profit and loss. Candle to candle. already seen that candle is a higher high, higher low. So that's a lower high, lower low than that candle. So it's a downtrend. It's not liking this. That's only two dumplings. Let's look at gold again. We've got 8 minutes left till London, so maybe it's just like last minute selling. So gold's looking slowing down. Oh, oh, that's tough. So we're respecting that level, not just here, but here. It's like that's pretty much a straight freaking line. The wicks of these candles. So that one's a bit higher, but these three, straight line. There's a new candle. All right, we lost it. That's probably a what they call a liquidity sweep. Now that I think about it, we're not going in yet. We'll wait for retracement, continuation, and breaking that high. And then Q. 7 minutes to London. This looks very very kind of symmetrical, almost symmetrical. To me indicates like, yep, large selling off. Here's a turning point. We want to take it, but we want to sell just a bit more for London. If anyone's like gonna watch this and be like, Matt, you are so freaking uh, incorrect about all this. When I look at the YouTube thing, it says like, no viewers. Maybe I'll look back. Oh, yeah, I'll just be proven wrong in the moment. Maybe we won't see any bull moves. It's, yeah, not looking too great, but let's look at gold. Another 5 minutes. Now this, see now that looks like a freaking reversal. Yeah, that looks kind of like the uterus. um, uh, anyways, yeah, so it's like, looks like it was down trend, pull back, down, reversal, and now that looks like a pullback to that. So I'm gonna wait for that retracement. Q's sitting at like negative 20s. What's that look like? Some recovery. I'm gonna treat this similar thing. Now, I've already entered. Just like to see how it goes. Like that candle's looking like it wants to retrace. Maybe. And on the 5, this candle wicks the same here. Does look like that's a point of support. After I roll this dart, I'm going to look at the RSI on the 15. So RSI just peeking into fair value now. Negative 10s. It looks like might be starting to see retracement, I hope. 2 minutes to London. Ugh. Nearing 10 hours. Let's look. I'll have to convert it to. So it's still $52 an hour. There's I was saying before, that looks like retracement. Surprised I've got this patience. We've been trying to like catch all of these swings just like 2 days ago, you know. Every candle. Find my actions. Looks like we're seeing a bit of rejection there or failure. Looks like that's not tracing how I would have hoped to. It is. London just opened actually. So let's see how market open acts first. We'll give it some time. Then we might start to see some direction. MNQ just peaked into positive. Box. I need to look at it. So I need to watch this action. is in the tens. The 15 on gold. Looks like it's still time to short. Might just give it. Should be waiting for what market open does. MNQ is already in the negative. It's really important that I do remember to make the points and trace it. I made a few mistakes where I just, on the impulse, catch the right at the end of the pivot, and then it starts MQ in the negative 40s, 30s. I don't like this. Maybe there is a bear market. Maybe I was totally wrong. I'm just going to hold and observe and go with the data. Now, this is not a reversal. Is a trend. It's a very strong move. As if we're going to see correction, we're just going to see. So price is beginning to pull, no. Go in anyway. I'm going to count that wicking. Okay, just close this pullback. But, oh, here we go. As usual, friggin' always do that. Negative 40s on MNQ. Who knows if that was just the final sell-off, reaching that point of support until it flies off again. Negative 50s on MNQ. Let's negative 60. And then best off just exiting. Loss. Shows it's trending. It isn't oversold, so I do expect a reversal sometime. It's quite a big market there. Oh, looks like it's reacting with that. Jeez. What's wrong with me? Oh no, look at that. Look at that. Oh no. We are in oversold. here's the thing: is that market structure says downtrend. But my prediction says catch that, and I don't want to do shorts because I fear it's going to be over soon. Just like I see a strong bearish move, and I go like, okay, I'm gonna try catch that before waiting for the pullback. Looks like gold is it's level. And the 1 minute chart starting to look clean recovery rather than changing bias and trade all the time right now. I'm going to try to stick with this. My stop loss is going to be quite far away, so I'm going to close that. It's going to have to go lower. What's going to happen? Really just want to go long. A lot of distance for MNQ to travel to get my even the stop loss is a lot of. I just want to make a profit and go long. Falls in the negative again. Not too bad. Still can just leg up. Thirties, short, knees. Those look promising. It would be. There's the thought of adding a contract to increase the win and recover the losses, but it's not really that smart. Despite how bearish things are, entering oversold, and it's going to increase the distance to my take profit. Taking far too many trades today as well. If you look at this, another one of those bars doing that behavior. I mean, saw the same thing here as well. It's like, stop thinking about those single bars on the smaller charts. Focus on the 15-minute. It says downtrend. So I got to stop thinking about these bull moves. Just keep on shorting. If I didn't want to do it, I should just keep on shorting. And maybe I should be adding to my positions. Reversal is probably going to take some time. It's probably not just going to happen in an instant and like wipe out my positions. I'm going to see the warning signs and stuff. So yeah, I should just keep shorting. Gold. Good thing we're going long on gold at the moment. Still, these wicks, these levels, they still tell me like, maybe it's because this is not as bearish as MNQ. MNQ is a lot more bearish. This, I think I have to be more wary of. MNQ, I can have a bit more confidence of going short for the time being. PNL right now. It's been 10 hours. 590 an hour. That was good. Gold's looking decent. It's getting in the, it's peaked into the 40s a bit. New 15-minute candle just opened. We'll see some highs. Directions. Keep dropping again. It's crazy how just before gold did this, then this. Really should just be shorting gold, shouldn't I? MNQ's dropping. These cheeky buggers again. Can't let the single candle define everything. We're in a freaking downtrend. Should go bullish when the freaking structure changes, not just expecting reversal and getting in early. Screw that. The trend says it's trending. So I'm going to stick with MNQ in my short position. Don't worry about that. Doesn't matter that we're in freaking oversold. Just stick with it. Gold, working for now. There's plenty of evidence, you know, I did lose a trade before because I was going long. You can cut this one short, and then stick using its as well. We move to break even. Like it miraculous if this break even actually to the 100. It's it's an MQ, that just means wait. MQ, did I buy that at a freaking I would sell that, I mean, or did I enter that? Right, there's lost. MNQ. It's like a shorted mid pullback, I think. Bearishness is going to continue, or then it'll retrace. It's still pulling back. Just got to trust that the higher time frame. It's just now let gold close. Shorting opportunities. I think it's just going to be a clean retracement. So I'm going to enter the retracement early. Short. Now we can consider even adding to the position. Looking at the bigger charts, maybe that actually was the pullback in this. My predictions possibly could have been wrong. Maybe it's going to keep on going down until New York and then it goes up. You know? Hey, well, we're in the 60s in gold, so something's working. think. Oh, damn! I was going to add another contract. I think I'll just sell anyway, because on the 5 minute, it's pretty much just gone past that as retracement. So not ideal on the 1 minute, which I didn't really consider. Yeah, looks like I did buy at the peak again. Ah, stop doing that. Patient. 7. This pullback is too close to wait for a pullback. Negative 50s. Might stop the stream now. Focus on this. This for 3 hours.